Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Liz Reddy. Today's top stories. Talks between Unite and the company employing striking cleaning staff at University Hospital Waterford failed to resolve the dispute. Students at Waterford College of Further Education are staging a walkout today. People planning on cancelling holidays due to the coronavirus are being told it's highly unlikely they'll be offered any refunds. And in sport, Waterford's hurling league clash against Limerick has been refixed for Saturday, March 7th. The Unite Union have called on the HSE to intervene urgently in the dispute involving cleaning staff at University Hospital Waterford. Talks with employers Momentum Support, which were awarded the cleaning contract last September, broke down in the early hours of this morning. 125 workers are striking in a row over changes to their working conditions without consultation. Unite's Tony Kelly says they feel Momentum have decided to ignore the union.
I think it's important at this stage that the HSE intervene urgently and talk to Momentum in terms of both their contract and how they're dealing with what should be normal industrial relations processes. I'm not sure to what angle Momentum are taken here in relation to their actions, but the HSE need to have serious discussions with Momentum.
University Hospital Waterford says the ongoing strike is impacting directly on patient care and causing significant disruption. Cleaning supervisor Martina Mooney says they want to be in work.
They brought down a busload of cleaners yesterday from Limerick and they're putting them up in a hotel here, and they've 20 other staff in there. So no, the place is still getting cleaned in there. We're not stopping anybody going in or out. We have no problem with the hospital whatsoever. This new company came in September and we've had nothing but trouble. We're all out here for a reason. We are all trying to protect our jobs. I mean, I'm a supervisor in there, and the new girls that have come in have been told not to take any notice of me. They've not to listen to me.
She says there have been no instance of intimidation on the picket line.
Apparently we were calling people scabs. No such thing. No. If they pass us, they pass us. There's nothing we can do about that. This is a peaceful protest and we're all here. We've all children, we've all mortgages. We're not here to stand here for the good of our health. For instance, that new Dunmore wing, all these women here bought a brick for that place to build it.
Students at Waterford College of Further Education are staging a walkout today. It's over what they say is a lack of communication between college staff and them. A number of students didn't receive their SUSI grants earlier in the month due to the college not contacting the grants awarding body in advance of a payment date. Student rep Victoria Hammond says they were left with no choice.
We had kind of bandied the idea about the strike and the walkout before at the beginning of the year, but we had kind of resolved those issues and we just said, look, we'll hang tight. But it seems to be one thing after another with the college, and we do understand that these things happen. Obviously system errors occur and things go wrong, but the general lack of communication and the attitude towards the students is what we really have an issue with.
There are now 15 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the UK as the virus continues to spread across Europe. The Department of Education has issued advice to schools and the HSE is handing out information at ports and airports. Casey O'Riordan reports.
The latest 2 cases to be confirmed in the UK originated in Italy and Tenerife. Despite the escalation in the number of cases, these passengers at Dublin Airport say they're not overly concerned.
No, not at all. No, I travel all the time, pretty much stay clean, so that's half the battle. Right?
I feel like it's just another one of those things that'll just go away.
Authorities have stepped up their information campaigns, with the HSE putting dedicated staff at ports and airports to answer questions about the virus. National Director of the HSE, Liam Woods, says they're working to ensure they have sufficient stock of protective equipment such as masks for staff.
HSE has been distributing personal protection equipment and we've been taking measures through our procurement arm to make sure that we have stocks of personal protection equipment, and we've had some success in that.
The Department of Education has issued schools with a poster on how to prevent the spread of COVID-19, which they can print out and put up around their building.
Meanwhile, people planning on cancelling holidays due to the coronavirus are being told it's highly unlikely that they will be offered any refunds. Niall Colbert reports.
The Department of Foreign Affairs has advised Irish citizens not to travel to 11 towns across the north of Italy and to avoid all non-essential travel to China. But in recent days, Austria, Croatia, Greece, Switzerland and the UK have all confirmed cases of coronavirus. No travel restrictions have been announced in these places. Ciara Mulligan of Blue Insurance says holidaymakers can protect themselves if restrictions are brought in.
Everybody should also make sure that they have travel disruption cover added to their policy. That gives you the added protection in the event that the Department of Foreign Affairs advises you not to travel to a certain area.
He says if the Department of Foreign Affairs has not issued any restrictions, getting a refund from an airline or hotel is highly unlikely. Pat Dawson is from the Irish Travel Agents Association.
If you're going somewhere and you decide not to go and they're saying you can go, there is no cover or insurance that takes care of that.
Those who are intending on travelling soon and are getting itchy feet in relation to the coronavirus are being advised to contact their airline, hotel or travel agent to change their dates.
A Waterford councillor says Deputy Matt Shanahan has left the voters of Waterford down by aligning with a particular group in the Dáil. The Independent has joined the regional technical group alongside Michael Lowry, Verona Murphy, Noel Fitzpatrick, Pader Tobin, Dennis Naughton, Carl Berry, Sean Kenny and Peter Fitzpatrick. Labour's Seamus Ryan says this group seems to be quite right-wing.
Matt has aligned himself with a number of what I would call, not to put a toot on it, some of their comments have been racist. People like Noel Grealish, people like Verona Murphy, and then Pader Tobin, some of his comments have been anti-women. It's not a progressive group at all, and I think Matt would have been advised, because there are other groups up there in the Dáil that he could have aligned himself to, which would have been more progressive, or at least wouldn't have been as right-wing as this particular group seems to be.
He says he can understand why Matt Shanahan joined a group.
I think the group has to be a group of 7 to get speaking time and to get chairs of committees up there in the Dáil and all of that. However, he did not have to join this group, and this did not have to be a group of 9. It could have been a group of 7 and it would have been entitled to the exact same speaking rights as they are with a group of 9.
The UK has issued a threat to the EU 4 days before trade talks begin. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson could walk away from discussions in June if they don't have a broad outline for a deal. There's disagreement on whether the UK should have to follow some European standards to allow frictionless trading to continue. Mr Johnson is looking for a bit of fairness from Brussels.
We wouldn't ask the EU to follow every change in the UK legislation. So it doesn't make any sense for them to make the same requirement of us.
A Danish retail company opened its doors in Waterford this morning. Jysk was founded in 1979. It's grown to over 2,800 stores across 52 countries. It launched in Ireland last year and has stores in locations including Youghal, Navan and Portlaoise. Jenny Johnson is Ireland's sales manager and says the company plans to have up to 40 stores across Ireland.
Originally that number was 15 stores, but very quickly we realised, actually there's a big appetite here from our customers and they want the stores and they want them, particularly in the towns and communities where employment is important as well. In places like Youghal, for example, they were literally welcoming us with open arms because it made a big impact to their local economy. So that's been quite nice, and I think that's what our stores across Ireland will continue to do.
WLR Sport.
With thanks to the Waterford Viking Marathon. Register now at waterfordvikingmarathon.com.
Very good afternoon, I'm Gavin, Whelan, starting with soccer, and David Beckham believes his former Manchester United teammate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing a good job at Old Trafford. The United manager attempts to guide the club into the last 16 of the Europa League when they face Bruges this evening, while they're also challenging for a top 4 Premier League finish. Beckham is sure his old side are on the right track.
Let's hope that it doesn't last for too much longer where, we go without trophies, because I think that we are a club that is one of the biggest, if not the biggest club in the world. And that tradition that we have, not many clubs have.
Wolves will be confident of advancing in their tie against La Liga strugglers Espanyol. They've a 4-0 lead from the first leg at Molineux. Arsenal have a 1-0 advantage over Olympiacos, while it's 1-1 ahead of Celtic. Second leg, a clash against FC Copenhagen in Parkhead. In rugby, the Italian and British governments are set to have the final call on whether the Guinness Six Nations match between Italy and England goes ahead. The teams are set to meet in Rome Stadio Olimpico on the 14th of March, but it's a doubt due to the coronavirus outbreak in Italy. Yesterday, Ireland's game against the Azzurri next week was postponed in the interest of public health safety. Gaelic Games and the Croke Park fixture planners have confirmed details of the refixture of Waterford's Alliance League clash with Limerick in the Hurling League. The previously postponed game will take place on Saturday, March 7th in the LIT Gaelic grounds at 7pm. The game was originally set for the weekend of February 16th, but Storm Dennis formed cancellations on 2 occasions. Waterford play their penultimate league game this Sunday when they travel to Semple Stadium Thurles to take on Tipperary. Tip have just the 1 win to date so far with victory over Westmeath. Waterford 3 wins from 3 games. Throw-in is at 2. WLR will broadcast the game live thanks to George Corbett Skoda, Kieran O'Connor and Owen Murphy on the air from 1:45. Goal Tier will go in search of All-Ireland Camogie glory on Sunday afternoon. St. Ryan's from Offaly are their opponents in the much anticipated intermediate All-Ireland decider at Croke Park. The Blue and Navy lost to Clonduff by a point 12 months ago. Manager Orla Murphy feels that they can go one better this year.
I suppose they're year wiser, you know, they're a year older. I think they're stronger, they're fitter. The skills have the effort they've put into training. They've upped their skills. They've upped the ante. So I suppose I could say that they're definitely. I feel they're definitely stronger than they were last year.
Throw-in is at 1:30 and in Croke Park we'll have updates here on WLR. Waterford footballers will be hoping to build on last week's morale-boosting win over Sligo in Division 4 of the Alliance Football League. Carlow are the visitors to Farfield for Saturday evening's Division 4 League clash. Throw-in there is at 7. The Mayo International Supporters Foundation is set to close down. It follows the Mayo County Board ceasing all contact with the group's millionaire chairman Tim O'Leary earlier this week over tweets calling for the removal of manager James Horan last weekend. The foundation has made a series of donations this week, including a €50,000 payment to Mayo Roscommon Hospice. In golf, Shane Lowry and Padraig Harrington are both in action at the Honda Classic on the PGA Tour this afternoon. Harrington tees off his opening round at Palm Beach very shortly at 1:15 Irish time, while Open champion Shane Lowry is due out on course at 5:25, where number 1 Rory McIlroy is taking a week off. And finally, to sailing, where Ireland's Annalise Murphy is in 8th place ahead of tomorrow's final 3 races in the Gold Fleet at the Laser Radial World Championships in Melbourne. The 2016 Olympic medalist has started in 5th this morning but was disqualified in the first of today's 3 races. Aoife Hopkins is 45th overall into the final day. Sports news on WLR thanks to WaterfordVikingMarathon.com.